a very cosmopolitan wedding, this. And I think it's proper to probably take you through how Tice and I met. So it was 10 years ago, this year. My friend Joe is there. We should have been revising for exams at the time, but we didn't like that very much. So we decided to go to Prague instead over January because we just wanted a bit of a weekend getaway. And whilst in Prague, we went to this bar crawl called the Orange Clock Tower bar crawl. Other bar crawls are available in Prague, but we were there. And it was empty, with the exception of 2 Brazilian girls. Now, I think if you were to ask Joe and I what we thought of those Brazilian girls at the time, we'd probably say clingy. But in the absence of any better offers, Joe and I decided to talk to them. And it became immediately apparent to me that Tice and I, we had a connection. We really got on. And by chance in that bar in Prague, I happened to meet a person who not only has the same interests, you have the same, with the exception of golf, you have the same sense of humour, and you're a person who I can only say has become not only my wife, but my best friend over the years. I'm so pleased that I met you in that bar in Prague. And I'm sure you are, because you could have ended up with Joe that night. Now, the final detail about our trip to Prague was that when we met, Tice had actually never had a drink before. And the shots in the bar we were in were free, so I offered to get her one. And I gave her a simple choice. It was a choice of 2 colours, green or brown. Now, she chose green because she liked the colour. Now, with that simple choice, Tice had condemned herself to her first drink, which was strong Eastern European absinthe. And it's probably a contributing factor to why we're still here today. The first shot was free, but the rest of them, keeping the tops up, have been very expensive.
Now to get into how the bride and groom came to meet. Like, obviously Andy's talked about this a little bit more, but he hasn't given you the background or the context at all. So Andy spent many of his early years traversing Great Britain, periscope up, trying to find his true love by serenading literally every single person with his favourite songs from Les Mis. Unfortunately, he soon exhausted all options in the UK and completed Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Grindr, and had to take his quest overseas.
So as you've already heard, I had the pleasure of being there on the night that these 2 met. I'd just broken up with my ex-girlfriend, so Andy and a couple of other mates, whilst we were studying for our exams, thought it'd be a good idea to go out there, get amongst it, and get me back on the horse. So yeah, January 2012, over 10 years ago now, we decided to go on that weekend break to the Czech Republic, Prague. Whilst there, we booked ourselves onto the Clock Tower tour, I think. I'm glad you remember it. And I couldn't remember, I'm glad you've recalled it for me, because I couldn't remember if you were on the same pub crawl as we were, or we just sort of happened to bump into you on that night. But anyway, that chance encounter has led us where we're here today. So I'm convinced that had you two not met in Prague, you would have met somewhere else. 1,000 miles of ocean were unable to keep you apart, so you're clearly meant to be together.
From the foundation of their relationship, they have built a home together, and out of this has grown their beautiful family of 5 with Leo, Wally and Richmond.